Hey guys, how y'all doing? I already pre-pulled some cards and I'm gonna give you a reading. Um, somebody or maybe a number of people need to hear this out here, okay? Um, this is a deck in which like the pictures are bigger, you can see them better, or at least I can. But it's a much easier deck to see visually, you know, like physically. All right, so this is a collective reading, so someone out there or a number of people out there um, are needing this, okay? All right, the first thing that we have here is, okay, it looks like a conflict, all right? Conflict, disagreement, it's the overall energy, okay? Rivalry, competition, opposition. Yeah, that's the Five of Wands. Okay, that's the bottom of the deck. So that's the overall energy. And so we start out here with the Three of Cups and the Ten of Swords. All right. So you're dealing with, it looks like, you know, friendship or some kind of relationship, partnership, whatever, that has ended up in defeat. You know, something happened. Okay, it looks like something here. Is it looks here like a friendship or relationship or something went separate ways. Okay. Problem is seeing this. Okay, what have we got here? Okay, we have the Queen of Cups, and it is reversed. And here's the thing. You know, boundaries are essential. So what I'm getting here is, someone putting up boundaries, and because someone's putting up boundaries and someone else has a problem with boundaries, that's what seems to have, disrupted, this friendship or whatever. We have the Knight of Swords and the Lovers reversed. And I don't know if you can see this or not, but it's like, it looks like someone, like this horse rider, took a sword to the relationship without realizing, self-sabotage, okay? That's what I'm getting. Looks like someone, in the reverse, in their shadow side, just self-sabotage, doesn't realize that they're doing it, but they're doing it, and it's, put them into the Nine of Swords reverse energy, okay? So this is, okay. So, like, you go through something to learn, something that's like a disagreement, right? And say you do the wrong thing, all right? And you're not quite grasping that that's what's happened or occurred, maybe or not, I don't know. but it seems like perhaps maybe a repeat pattern. It seems like, this is a person or people that has a problem with boundaries and doesn't seem to grasp that, you're to be held accountable, for yourself and your own actions, not putting it off on someone else all the time, that you have to be accountable for yourself and what you do, right? In order to have, new love. And that's the healing right here. It's having love for self. Love yourself enough not to self-sabotage, enough to take care of yourself health-wise, how you eat, take care of yourself. In order to make progress, Three of Wands, to be able to have direction and move forward, to have, growth. Okay, Six of Swords, as you can see, the reverse, it's in the reverse. So when it's flipped over, it's, departure. You're leaving, and making your own way. Instead, it's basically like being stuck and having injustice going on, until you go through the heartbreak, right? The Three of Swords, the going through the heartbreak to learn something, that you got to have like that mental inner strength, all right, to overcome, the narcissism, the bully, the self-centered, that's not loving yourself, being self-centered. Loving yourself is taking care of your health. You want someone to take care of you and love you, well, you have to love you. You have to love you and be doing that exact thing. That's how you're teaching someone how to love you, by doing that. So that you can, have, so you can be responsible and all those things, okay? And we have the Knight of Pentacles and the Hangman, which is in a standstill. It's, it's Hangman in reverse. So it's stuck energy. Resistance, self-pity. The thing is that there's healing, okay? It's like going through something and realizing that you made a mistake, made the, the wrong call, the wrong thing that you did, whatever it is, or you're not getting it, you're not understanding what the boundaries are, which it, it looks like it shouldn't be that hard to see. Or maybe you're seeing it now. But yeah, this is literally going through something, having a learning lesson, and being able to see, where the mistake was, what went wrong, and to, learn to do this right, to make amends, to, whatever it is that was done. And if this has been a repeating cycle, you have to notice where you've done wrong. Because if you don't notice where you've done wrong, if you don't do something to make it right, you're going to keep going through it. You're going to keep going through cycles, and you're not going to be able to get out of it until that cycle, that loop beats you up so bad that there's nothing else but the only way out, which is apparently, it's like something you're not seeing. But if you're going through something and you're not learning the lesson because you're just being self-centered, like you think that you should be the only one to have money, you think you should be the only one to have a vehicle, you think you're the only one that should have a home, but you believe everyone else should be disadvantaged, so it's what, easy pickings for you? That means that you don't have inner strength and courage to know that you're worthy of, what's out there. Why would you need to keep people down or disadvantaged for you to have someone? That's a fear of abandonment. That's, um, yeah, it's like you're canceling yourself out, not even giving yourself a chance, and just, it's like assuming there's nothing out there for you, so therefore this is like someone that's trying to hoard, um, yeah, that's what it sounds like. It sounds like someone's trying to hoard them a bunch of people for relationships, like they want them all. There's got to be masculine energy here. Um, this is like someone that's got, people on the side, so to speak. They've got a family here, family there, no one knows. Like they've got a girlfriend here, there, and they're trying to get like a whole bunch of them around because this is someone that feels in complete lack. Um, yeah, this is someone or some people that feel in complete lack and are trying to make up for it by having lots of, girlfriends, wives, or whatever the case may be. And of course, the roles may be switched. It may be a woman that's doing this. And usually it's, what guys seem to have this massive fear of abandonment that they're not going to have anyone, so they go out there and get themselves a bunch of, girlfriends, wives, which makes no sense. But that's a fear of abandonment, and in you doing that, you're not making yourself look good to other people. You're making, these other people like, this person's desperate, needy. That's what that shows. If you can't be by yourself, that shows someone that's not sure of themselves, That's someone that's always in need of attention and validation, and someone that feels self-worth. They don't feel that. They don't feel that need to, um, constantly need to get attention or do things to have self-worth. You know what I'm saying? So it's different when you're not needing to chase something. And if you're chasing something or you make it run away, did you, do something that you haven't made right? I'm dealing with my own situation where someone stole from me. They haven't paid it back, and taken my things. They've done everything they can to, you know, uh, twist my kids against me and using anything, you know what I mean? Um, that's going against someone's will when you're doing these things. You can't do that. You're incurring karmic debt that way. You're telling the universe that is what you want back. What you're, doing to people. If you're treating people good, then it's, you're telling the universe you want that back for you to have as well. If you're out there treating people bad, but you believe you're treating them good because it's, you're the recipient, you're not feeling their pain, then you're going to get back bad. Start looking at things like what you've done to others and treated others. Did you get the same back? Did something end up happening to you? I had someone give me a head injury, and not too long after that, they got a head injury. That's no coincidence. That's, showing who was behind it and that they got it back in same kind. Because it's like they're showing the universe this is what they want. The universe can't differentiate between this, that, or the other. It just knows to repeat it back. So you need to be careful about what you're doing, and if you want that back, So that's the thing that you need to notice. What you're putting out there, is it good energy, and is it going to come back to you as good energy? That's why you want to get healed. That's the point of healing, the chakras, and detaching from electronics, getting out in nature, doing these things, it makes a huge difference. And stop eating meat. And if you're eating like the colors of the chakras to help heal those chakras, it makes a massive difference. It's just more into healing. The frequency music, that's more healing. And I've got that in the community posts. Expect the unexpected. It's spelled XPECT without the E at the beginning on YouTube, okay? But I'm on TikTok as well, but that's spelled normal. But it's imperative to get these things, traumas, everything healed so you don't have that holding you back. It's like carrying around 10 tons of extra weight on your back instead of healing it so you don't have to deal with it anymore. It's things from your ancestors, your families, what they went through and mistakes they made, and it just carries right on through. It keeps going and gets worse. So you heal it so you don't go through that. It doesn't exponentially get worse. Any mistakes, anything anyone made anywhere, your ancestors in history, whatever, that you get it taken care of so that it's not coming back to haunt you. So this is why you want to clear karmic debt, make amends. You have anything of someone, get it back to them, don't be one of the, there's these people out here that do catfishing, they're involved in groups, they do it, and I'm talking like there's cults, covens that do this stuff in order to have money because they can't see how to get there themselves. Is the point to, always look for people to steal? If everyone ran out of people to steal from, you'd be forced to, get healed. And I don't know if people realize it or not, but that day's coming. You're not always going to have marks or whatever you call it, people that you go and steal from. So wouldn't it be wise to go ahead and get on that right path? That's the point of getting on this right path, is so you don't have to go to prison, so you don't have to go to hell, so you don't have to go through horrific things. Is to get this healed. If you are abundant and on your own, you don't have to rely on someone else, whether it be to steal from them or to control them. Control is someone that's, out of control. People that are out of control want to control others. It says a lot. It really does. But the thing is with anything that you go through like this, there's healing, there's catharsis, which, apology can be very cathartic. If people were to go through everything and to be caught for the things that they do wrong and to turn around and do the right thing, that's what changes things. You're changing the trajectory of repeating the past. You're doing everything you can to stop it. You've got so many people thinking that if they get caught for what they do wrong, they're terrified of it. But it's fear, false evidence appearing real. If they just go through and learn the lesson, so they can move on, to be healed and not keep dealing with it. That's the whole point. But you learn from this. It's an inner strength that is within that you find to get you through things, okay? Even if you're, say you're on the journey of, you're trying to hear God, you're trying to see the signs, da-da-da-da-da. Look, this is like playing an instrument. It's not something, you may not get it right away. So maybe some people do. I don't know. It's just up to you. This isn't something, it's not a competition. It's not something you compare to someone else. This world has put out a lot of people that want to compete with other people. This is not what you're doing. You're not looking for someone that you think is your competitor and then trying to take them down. Do trees out there, you're growing out here with me. I can't put up with that. I've got to compete against you. They don't try to take each other out. Flowers don't take each other out. Just, you see my point? It makes no sense. There's plenty here for everyone if everyone just realized it. It's a mindset. It's a mindset that others put on others. But there's plenty here. Okay? Stop acting like there's not enough here, or that you're not going to have. That comes from the fake world, the illusional world that feeds you bullshit. So, it's tapes or whatever that people told you that were not true. Just what they'd been told, so on. But you can heal, but you need the inner strength in order to, make it through this. The biggest way to do this and hear from God is to get away from electronics and all the noise. If you get out into the woods, the nature, but without hunting. If you're out, you go out there and that's your thing is to hunt, well, it sounds like you have an addiction to attracting negativity to yourself, because that's exactly what that is. You go out there and kill an animal, the negativity of the animal's death is now with you. And you need to heal that. In the 10 Commandments, is there not, thou shalt not kill? I believe that's the 6th commandment. Thou shalt not kill. Not, well, you shouldn't kill people, but you should kill this. Huh? It's thou shalt not kill. Not animals, not people. Not, oh, well, supposedly this animal killed this person, we gotta go kill the animal. That makes no sense. Thou shalt not kill. Not, well, these people are inmates and they did this, so we gotta kill them. What is thou shalt not kill? It's like you have people come up with every excuse and every reason to do something, but they're not seeing everything fully, right? But it's thou shalt not kill. There's no stuttering there, right? You're not supposed to go after others and hurt them. That's killing, stealing, destroying. You've got to be aware of what you're doing and why you're doing it. What's making you do that? Why not go out and get it the right way? These are like the people that don't want to work, But if Satan's yoke is heavy and burdensome, so if you don't want to work, why would you work for Satan? That's like going against what you want, And it's not like Satan's going to tell you straight out, but, you'll get duped into it. So, you've got to be able to see clearly. Now, cards, tarot cards, they can help a lot. They can really help a lot. I mean, you can get readings done. There's all kinds of, ways to do this, but you can get readings done. But keep in mind, law of reciprocity. You want to make sure that you're keeping up and you're doing what you're supposed to do. Go learn universal laws. Go look up what are the universal laws so that you can, post it somewhere, like in your room or in your house or whatever the case is, so that you're more aware instead of walking through this world realizing that there's actual laws that are universal and can't, it'll never change, instead of worrying about man's laws. You need to be concerned about God's laws, the universe's laws, in order to, navigate through this life, right? But You cannot go over someone else's will. They have boundaries. If you find a way to hack into that and steamroll over that, that doesn't mean that's okay. You're still going to pay. You're going to pay even more for making someone stumble. So you don't want to do that. You need to break all those habits, which is the point of repentance, which is the point of crying out to God, realizing you need help, and for, you to start learning to pray. So speaking is spelling, right? Do you understand that when you're speaking, you're praying? No matter what you're saying. And this isn't about, oh, don't say cuss words. This isn't about that. That's like adjectives. It's like, it's weird that people go there. That's Satan's programming. Okay? If you can't handle certain things in this world, how are you going to handle other things? So there's a crisis that happens, something really bad, and people are cussing because they're hurt. Okay? And I mean, like, say, an accident or a pile up or whatever. God forbid, we pray that doesn't happen. I rebuke it. But I'm saying, if something like this happens, what are you going to do? Have everyone stop? I'm not going to help. They cussed. Do you see my point? It's like really stupid. Lives are on the line and someone's going to bitch about cussing. Staying in your own lane, well, you're not doing that if you're one of these, what they call a Karen or a Kevin. They go around, you're in someone else's lane. You're not minding your own self, you're in someone else's lane, right? But if you're someone that you're in your lane, but people are coming in your lane and driving you nuts, and you're like, get the hell out of my lane. Let me go. Don't block me, right? And people are coming trying to block you, gang stalk you, and do all this stuff. Well, you have the right to, defend yourself and, have your boundaries. If they're not listening to your boundaries, what's the point of dealing with them? You see, there's no communication there. They're running their game, their agenda, and you're just trying to stay in your lane and do your thing, and they're coming against you, doing everything they can to stop you, say, keep you from earning money, things like that. That's their problems, their issues, their traumas they have not healed. And that's what they need to do. You have to leave them alone with their problems, because they're not seeing it. They're not seeing it because they're finding people to project the shit onto so that they're not dealing with it. They put it on other people. That's how they put their karma on other people. So you've got to have boundaries to not put up with that. To not let someone treat you that way, right? But because that's what this is coming across as. This is someone that's like looking for people to, even if they're not aware of it, but it's like they're looking for people to take from, to, someone that's nice and caring, and it's like they see that as weak, so they, try to get from it and end up finding out that this is someone that has boundaries. And that's their right. You don't have the right to tell someone how to live their life and how to run it, because your life is out of control. Do what you gotta do. Get healed, get your life right, get on the right track, because you're not going to have people standing around waiting for you to get healed, to choose to get healed. None of that. They're going to keep going. They're going to go, they're going to live their lives, and you're still going to be stuck and left behind. Just, it's like, at what point do you realize that the divine, that the universe, and God is doing things to wake your ass up, and you just haven't been paying attention? You've been selfish, distracted, caring about what you want, thinking you don't have to do anything anymore. I've learned all I need to learn. I don't need to learn anymore. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. When do we ever stop learning? It's use it or lose it. If you're not using your mind, then you're gonna what? So use it, learn what you need to learn. You know, it's the point of being here is to learn so that you get to stay here, right? Something to think about. But this is a situation that can be completely healed, but you have to move towards that healing. It's a desire and intent, and make sure to let the universe know your intent is you want to move towards the healing and to pray, for that assistance to help you with the healing. Okay? You can go through a period of time where you're unable to hear God. Excuse me. And God's just testing you. See what you do. Do you do the right thing? Do you do the wrong thing? And then comes all the karma to show you weren't doing the right thing, or you messed up here, you messed up there, and then you'll be like, what? It could be a period of time that you go through that until you really learn something. But pray more. Pray more, and like I said, if you're in someone else's lane trying to figure out how to mess them up so you can get something from them or whatever it is, that's going to mess you up. It's like wasted time, wasted talent, wasted everything. Instead of just staying in your lane and doing what you need to do. But do not sabotage someone. Do not go after someone. You feel like they hurt you. What good does it do to go and hurt them back? You're hurting yourself because it's telling the universe that's what you want back. You're hitting someone, beating someone, it's going to come right back to you. It's going to come right back to you. You steal from someone, it's going to come right back to you. So you really want to think about what you're doing, because what you do to others, you are doing that to yourself. It is literally saying, I hate myself when you're doing that to other people. So that's a part of loving yourself too. Is treating other people with love and care, unconditional love. That doesn't mean let them run you over. But how would you want to be treated? What boundaries do you have? What boundaries do you not want someone to run over? Do you get when they say that we're all one? That however you treat someone else, it's coming back to you. So if everyone did the right thing, it would be a wonderful utopia world. It's a matter of everyone healing within, realizing they have inner strength. They need to realize everything really is within, not you're looking for it on the external. You find it all within and then move from there, to move outward from a healed perspective where you can see everything that you need to see, whether it be physically or spiritually, you see. But yeah, it helps a lot to be able to connect, and that's why we have things like this: oracle cards, tarot cards, people that do readings, people that do energy readings, mediums, psychics, prophet. It's really all the same damn thing. So no reason to get scared, but really look at how you're treating others. If you say, oh, I hate this person, da 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 da, well, that's probably something you hate about yourself. Or something that you have a trauma and it's making you feel that way. Look at things differently. Don't judge a book by its cover, because you might just be judging yourself perhaps. Or there's so many people judging this person that they're feeling that way. You see, it's one or the other. But healing is the only way to get about all these loops, all these cycles, to heal and heal the chakras, and to spend time away from the electronics, to spend time away from the indoors, but to have areas outside that we can walk and do things, nature, without, if someone doesn't have a vehicle, how far have they got to go to reach nature without homes and this and that and all this stuff in the way. Where they actually have nature and can spend time in it without running into buildings and people. There could be buildings like bathrooms and stuff, but you kind of get the grasp of what I'm saying, where you can, a person could go and walk, spend time with their pets, whatever, or other animals that are there, parks, you name it. But back where I grew up, we had these things. There were pathways, what they call them, green belts, but it's like a pathway, a bike path through the, like through the woods, in between, the roadways and connecting and stuff like that, which was a great idea, because then you had open pathways that you could walk or bike or walk, your pet, whatever. And there'd be, other animals that are, somewhere for them to live. It's like in the forest as well as in the open. So that way, you have nature incorporated, throughout neighborhoods and stuff like that. Instead of having areas where it's just like a concrete jungle and there's no nature. This is why we want to coincide and live with nature, because we need it. That's a part of us. But, yeah, this is a good reading. It shows that some things went on here. But the underlying meaning here is that there is healing from this. You just have to, rely on that inner strength that you have and get through this, and get through this the right way. If you did something to someone, I highly suggest that you make it right, make amends, don't leave people hanging. Do the right thing, make amends, pay back, and if you don't have it, all at once, whatever, but you need to pay back what you owe. If you have it all at once, you need to pay it all at once, because, if this is someone that's, or someone's, depending on how many people this is, that's, doesn't have a way to make it, and you took from them, that's going to, that karma is going to be that much more worse, because they're having to expend a lot more energy, do what they can in order to make it, and you're keeping them from it. You're keeping them from independence, because, this sounds like someone that's trapping someone, or a number of people that's about trapping, who their target. TI, targeted individual. Which, this is like what I've been through. So, it's what that sounds like. So you need to rethink this situation and get out of it. Change everything, change your life so that you're not getting caught up. Because that's, that's where this leads if you don't change your ways. It's going to lead to, you get karma for everything. And it is imploded. If you make someone else stumble, it's worse. It's a lot worse. So you want to get all that cleared. The very first thing to do is, pay back that karmic debt. You stole from them, and this is someone that's going to make them lose everything. Well, that's all on you. If you're the one that put them in that position, if that was, God knows everything. So I would make it right quick, and even if you're not even talking to this person or these people or whatever the case is, but yeah, getting person. But if you're not talking to them, that's on the person that did the wrong. This is, like someone that's not hearing the boundaries. The boundaries are being put there. They're not hearing it. They're not seeing it because, it sounds like someone that just doesn't hear shit. It sounds like someone's trying to do something and this other one not interested in it. You don't have that right to do that, you know, force something, run a game, whatever the case is. But you need to make things right. That's what can change things around. Make things right. You know, go look at the, what do they call that? Alcoholics Anonymous, or the NA. They have, you know, their 12-step program. Okay? Go look at that 12-step program. Now, that doesn't mean, you know, you go to a meeting of a bunch of people that are saying negative things. You want to get away from the negativity. You don't need to do that. It's just follow the 12 steps, the 12-step program, what they're saying to do. Like your sponsor would be, you know, the divine, the universe, the spiritual realm. Okay? You would vent to them. You don't cuss them out, but you can vent. You can cuss and vent. You don't cuss out the spiritual team, is my point. You say what you need to say. You get it vented. If you need to, go get you some, you know, empty cardboard boxes specifically for this reason. Don't steal something. Don't get something that has stuff in it. But empty cardboard boxes. Go in a room and kick those boxes. Say whatever it is that has you so mad. Kick those boxes, punch them, whatever you need to do, and get it all out. And I suggest doing this somewhere where you don't have an audience, obviously. But get all that aggression out. It's in there, we'll get it out. You know, if you're mad about this or health problems or whatever it is, get it out. Okay, that's emotions that's pent up there and you need to get it out. So do that. You know, there's things like this that you can do that actually help you and help you progress so that you can get where you need to get instead of going backwards, right? Going backwards is just going to mean you're further left behind, right? So, yeah, I would definitely do that. You know, if you have aggression and anger and stuff like that, you need to vent and get it out. So get you some boxes and, you know, kick and hit it and say whatever words, you know, like if someone said something to you a lot and it hurt, say it. You know, whatever it takes, you need to get that dealt with. But it's time to turn things around and start seeing things the way that they really are instead of denying it like it's not there and it's just going to go away. You need to face what's going on, because otherwise you could end up with like a health problem and like you're denying it, like you're not seeing it, like it's more than what you know or something like that, as an example. And then when you finally do find out, you realize you were missing it the whole time. That's what I'm saying. You don't want to have anything that's glaring obvious in your life and you're completely missing it. Okay? But, yeah, you got to get this taken care of. You got to get this stuff healed so that you don't have this problem of something like this in your life that you're missing and not seeing. Because it could be a health problem, it could be anything. So, yeah, you want to get these things taken care of. All right, y'all. God bless, and I pray that you know, are able to get healed and get healed of this situation so you're not dealing with it anymore. You're on to the next, you know, learning lesson so that you can, you know, climb up the ladder to abundance. That's what the lessons are for. The lessons are just to get you to that, you know. My plans are to prosper you, not to harm you, right? What is that, Jeremiah? Is it 33:11? Anyway, but you know the verse, or 29:11. Anyway, it's right around there. But yeah, that's the truth. It's to prosper us, not to harm us. That's the whole point of it. If you don't learn these things, then how are you going to prosper? You'll just lose it. That is the whole point of it. All right, y'all. Take care.